All right. Hello and welcome to the stream, everybody. My name is Nick Larson. Today is August 14th, 2019. It's right at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm excited about today. We're going to skip past everything that happened last time with one exception. I'd like to give Calamity701 thank you for following me a few days ago. I really, really appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get right to what I want to work on. Guess what time it is, y'all? If you remember a couple of months ago, we did practice for a game competition called JS13. And guess what? It's time. It's live. It started yesterday and it ends on September 19th, 2019. So let's take a quick look at a calendar, at an actual calendar. Calendar. No, just a calendar. I just want a calendar. Ugh, I did it again. 61 JS13K. For real this time. Okay, there we go. JS13K. No, just show me a calendar. Calendar. There we go. Sure. Okay. It is 8:14. It's today. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 days to work on this. And it'll be due right about the time we finish this. Okay, so that's it. Let's take a look at the rules. The rules say the main theme is back. Okay, interesting. Let's go ahead and read all of it. So you have to build a game. The entire package has to be 13 kilobytes or less. You need 2 sources, one that's readable and then one that's 13 kilobytes or less. No external libraries or services. You can't use any libraries, images, or data file hosted on a server or services that provide any type of data. For example, Google Fonts are not permitted, although you are allowed to. Hey, what's up, Ancient Coder? How's it going, man? Although you are allowed to ask users to live load a web font to support some characters or emoji on devices that can't display them properly. Although you are allowed to ask users to live load a web font to support some characters, okay? But you have to make sure your game will work without them. Your game should work offline, desktop and mobile, and all game assets should fit in the package size, not counting WebXR's A-Frame and Babylon.js frameworks. If you manage to shrink your favorite library below 13 kilobytes, including the code itself, then you can use whatever you want. Just remember about the 13K. That's awesome, man. It's Wednesday. Okay. So the main theme is back. Interesting. Back. Let's see what it wants to say. Back. The definition of back. The rear part of the human body, especially from the neck to the end of the spine. The body considered as the wearer of clothes. Okay, capacity for labor, effort, or endurance. Okay, the back considered. Okay, let's just go to the main definitions, right? That's one. The side or surface opposite the front or face. Okay. A position in some games. Right. Okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind, and this is going to sound dumb, but it's because it's something that I'm working on, is back propagation, which has nothing to do with this. But it does say that you can interpret this however you'd like. All right, you can interpret the theme however you want. It's up to you what back means to you. All right, so there's back propagation, which is how you train a neural network. And I'm just like really kind of stuck on that idea for some reason. I read this yesterday, before I went to bed, and then sort of brainstormed some quick ideas, and that's what kept coming to mind. But then I was like, it would be insane to make a game where the whole point of the game is to like train an actual neural network. And instead, I'd like to focus on gameplay because, like, you need a fairly excessive amount, and doing it all in the browser, like, it would just be kind of boring to sit there and watch this like thing learn. So maybe we just sort of use the concept of backpropagation as like the theme for the game. And in fact, let's go ahead and get something going here and just come up with some ideas. All right. So I'm gonna just call the game Backprop because I like the name. Backprop. And then conceptually, like, what sort of game do I want to make? I have been making games recently that are like, not games. I've been playing games recently, like Teamfight Tactics is one of my favorite games, and like these games where you don't really control the units per se, they just sort of play themselves, but you're like the game manager, right? Like your job is to like collect up all the individual parts that you need and then to like put them together in the correct way in order to beat the next level. It's a little bit easier to play than like, you know, getting fast at dragging and dropping and that sort of a thing. So I want to avoid that as much as possible. I think because of that, something where you sort of tell it to start and then it just sort of does its thing would be fun. You know, instead of you constantly interacting with it, like you get to watch and like actually pay attention to what's happening instead of trying to focus on other things. Even in Teamfight Tactics, I find myself like scrolling through, you know, the store and whatnot instead of actually looking at the thing, instead of actually looking at the game until like the very end of the game. All right, so essentially I want it to be something like, we're also going to take a little bit of a different approach to this than we took last time. Last time we went like right into, okay, it's going to be a grid world, let's build a grid world, and then we started worrying about the mechanics later on. This time around I want to actually like design the game and then get into the actual implementation. So we're going to spend a little bit more time, probably most of today, sort of coming up, and maybe even a good part of tomorrow coming up with like the actual interactions for the game, maybe doing a little prototyping, but not actually like implementing the thing. Okay, so essentially I want it to be something like a game all right, you're the game manager, but you don't control everything. There we go. And then also something like, you know, thinking team fight tactics. And I want it to be very strategy based. Support multiple strategies. Consider multiplayer, but focus on single player. No, let's just say focus on single player, right? Cut down everything. You can add in crazy stuff if you have time later. Single player needs to be some AI for the opponent. Appears like a two-player game. But the AI changes. Sort of like a dungeon crawler, maybe. Dungeon crawler, so to speak. Okay. Okay. So your job is to like set the strategy and like position your players around the board. and then it sort of does its own thing. The individual like players play themselves, you know, the like minions that you control, but they're and then it could also be, oh yeah, well you could also do. All right, so I want to use this brain theme, right? Like if you look at my screen here, I have this brain theme. This conceptually, I want to be part of the game, but I want there to be like back prop, right? Like back prop is like the thing. That is the thing that makes your brain learn. And so your goal is to collect data to make it learn, and then as it learns, it gets stronger. But I want there to be like right now there's this left brain, right brain thing, and then there's going to be like a third thing down here at the bottom. This back, you know, this thing down at the bottom is going to be the back prop. And then the left and right brains you can kind of switch out. One of them's going to be creative, one of them's going to be analytical. And then those things need to lead to the actual strategies that you use. And then you control some minions, and they all sort of do their own thing. Okay. All right. So your brain is your tower. You start off. All right, the brain has 3 parts. The back prop, the left brain, and the right brain. The back prop doesn't change, but it determines, but you have to skill it up. Skill it up. When it skills up, there is the back prop doesn't change, but you have to skill it up. When it skills up, oh yeah, okay, here we go. All right, so you have like replayability. Okay, I'm on this now. All right, when it skills up, there is it just gets better at oh wait, okay. All right, you have to skill it up. When it skills up, something happens to do. All right. All right, the back prop doesn't change, but you have to skill it up. When it skills up, something happens. The left brain. All right. Left brain. Let's see. Left brain, right brain. Two halves, or hemispheres, each of which different left brain, right brain. Left brain oh, these are great right here. All right, the left brain is the analytical side. Right brain. The right brain is the creative side. There are different primary traits of each side. All right. Okay. Hey, what's up, Ganesh? So today I'm starting to build a game, and I'm in the very beginning of the design process for this game. This is part of the JS13K games competition, which just went live. Highly recommend checking this out if you're like into this sort of thing. And I'm super jazzed about this. We did an experiment where we took the theme from last year and we built something in 4 weeks the best we could. I think we came up with something that was okay. It wasn't going to win any awards or anything like that, but it was a good introduction. This time I'm focusing more on the actual gameplay, and then we're going to worry about the implementation later. So I'm probably going to spend the better majority of this week working on the actual idea of the game and sort of prototyping to make sure that, you know, there's a little bit of balance or whatnot, that you can win, those sorts of things. And then we're going to put together the actual game over the next few weeks. And this time I'm going to focus more on like graphics instead of like, you know, this like grid world DOM manipulation thing that I had going on for the last one. So the concept, the theme for this year is back, and the first thing that came to my mind is back propagation for a neural network. But of course, like, you know, training a neural network as like part of a game would be insane. So we're not going to do that. Instead, that's just going to be like the theme is that you have to train your brain, and the way that you train it is you're going to like go collect stuff, you know, by winning these battles against other brains. And then you get to learn all of the whatever that they had. And then hopefully, you know, the goal is just to see like how far you can get, like how many of these things you can win, and like how smart your brain can get. And then at the end, you know, you just replay it and choose a different setting, you know, like a different strategy to play. All right, your brain is a tower. The brain is 3 parts: the back prop, the left brain, and the right brain. All right, the back prop doesn't change. You have to skill it up. When it skills up, something happens. The left brain is the analytical side. So what we did was look up this left brain, right brain theory. And like at the beginning, I'm going to say you have to like choose which category, you know, you want to put things in at the beginning. Say like, I want my left brain to be about, you know, logic, or about, you know, something like planning, problem solving, that sort of a thing. So let's just put some ideas down. Planning, problem solving, and I don't know, give me one more. Planning, problem solving, and I don't know, what's another one here? Thinking in words. I think planning and thinking are the same thing. Problem solving. And I don't know what else. What would be another one here? Planning, problem solving. Let's move on. The right brain. Okay. Strategy. Traits. And okay, strategy traits. If I could learn how to type. The right brain is the creative side, so this is going to be intuition, which is sort of like luck. And then we're going to have understanding. Something else. All right, so let's think about how these things work together. Right, so your goal is to improve your brain. Okay? And then you need all right, that's the main. Okay. The game advances by building out your team, then squaring your team off against your opponent's team. This fight happens without intervention from the user. Okay. The game advances by building out your team, then squaring your team off against your opponent's. Okay, let's move this over so we can actually see it. And we say something like you start with one minion, oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Okay. The back prop is responsible for improving the other two parts of the brain. At any given point, it can only be training one side or the other. It trains the selected side by intervention of the user who clicks on the side they want to be actively training. Okay. Each side. All right. As you win levels, the speed at which it can train train the other parts improves. Okay, so then all right, so we have two things, which is how do you gain whatever you need to level up your back prop. All right. And then also it's like oh, yeah, okay. I see how the left brain and the right brain can be used together. All right, this left brain and right brain thing. How do you gain whatever you need to level up your back prop? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just always works at the same speed. Okay, let's try that. All right, so this is a timer, and you tell it I want to train the left brain or I want to train the right brain. Anytime there is anytime either side of the brain finishes leveling up, you get a bonus. We'll come back to that. All right, so it's one timer that basically Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so your left brain and your right brain. Okay. Okay. All right, so the back prop is the thing that trains either your creative side or your analytical side. And then each side of the brain can control up to 2 units. Up to 2 units per level. Each side of the brain can control up to 2 units per. No, 2 units based on level. Okay? Each side of the brain can control up to 2 units. So you can control up to 4 possible units total. Okay? Sort of liking this. Units can only be controlled by one side or the other. And each unit has a basic attack and a special. Okay. Each side of the brain can control up to 2 units based on level, so you can control up to 4 possible units. All right, let's draw a picture of what like I have in mind here. So it looks sort of like, let's go like this. All right, so I'm imagining this world where there is this game board, and then on this game board, we have like, you know, this brain here. And in this brain, there's these three sections. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Here we go. And then there's these three sections like this. And so you have your left brain, and then you have your, whoops, and then you have your, what on crap? Okay. And then you have your right brain, and then you have your back prop. Okay. Now you have these unit slots. Right? Oops. I don't want that to be like that. I want that to be black. So then you have these, like, I guess it's like a grid. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. So you have these unit slots that are like 4 by 4. 4 by 3, so 4 by 6. Okay, so we're gonna go bloop, bloop, bloop. And then you have yeah. Something like this. You know, and we can get better at like the actual what it's gonna look like later. Oops, that's not right. Okay. And then we want to go like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. And then basically we want the same thing on the other side. You know, so this is like some shady area right here. Probably want to go something like gray and just put a square here. Well, we want to fill it in. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so you can put your things on any of these locations. And then we want to copy all of this. want to rotate it. And we want to shrink it. Okay, there we go. That's your board. And then you get to put 4 units wherever you want. There needs to be a little bit of a separator. You know, some sort of icon on here for the kind of like brain that you chose. Okay. So you can put your units anywhere. How do you get more units? Okay. Oh, how about that? Okay. I just have so many ideas going through my head, and I'm like having trouble saying them out loud because there's so many of them, and they don't exactly go, like, they're not flowing in a direct order right now. Maybe the best thing to do is just like grind away. So I have this board. Conceptually, what I want to do is make it so that you can do something along the lines of like, all right, this is your brain. You choose whether you're training the left side or training the right side. It controls your units. So as your brain levels up, your units get stronger. Okay. Okay. As your left and right brain level up, your units your units get stronger. Something happens. Leveling up the left brain and the right brain needs to improve your units somehow. All right, as your left brain and right brain level up, your units get stronger. All right, so I'm sitting here saying level left, level right. When learn left, learn right. And this needs to be like per fight, so it starts at 0 during every fight. And you're either improving your intuition or you're improving... Okay, so this makes this side stronger, and this... Alright. The number... So the left side gets stronger. Let's just put some units to it, right? Okay. So what kind of units are there? First thing you have are like level 1. Okay. A units, B units, C units. So you can level them up. Okay. Units get stronger. No. Why do we keep thinking of units get stronger? Alright. A units, B units, C units. Okay. Can buy units. Randomly presented 3 units in the buy window after each level. Likelihood of seeing units dependent on your overall level. So there's going to be like 3 levels of units, and then you can have two traits each. Okay. Units have 2 traits each. Like class and race. Units have 2 skills each, basic and special. Getting 2 of the same unit level. Okay. Units can only be controlled by left or right brain. Left side okay. Classes can only be controlled by either the left or right brain. Maybe race is not good. And specialization. Specializations have to be on either side. Two units with the same specialization. All right. No two classes can be shared. No two specializations. No two units with the same specialization can share the same class, and it should be that the same specialization can only exist, and it should be that the same specialization can only exist on opposite sides of the brain. Okay? Specializations are more powerful. Specialization pairs are more powerful than class pairs. One second. Okay. So then we have you should only be able to achieve three pairs, not four. Okay. Unless no, let's just do it like that. Okay. Units. All right. There should be okay. At max level. Alright, you should be able to achieve three pairs. Specialization pairs should be no more powerful. Okay. Now let's not worry about combining units. Okay. There is a set pool of units both you and your opponent share. Winner gets to choose first. No, loser chooses first. So the idea being that okay, you get a random unit. You get a random unit to start with. Of min level. A random unit of lowest level to start with. Okay. No two units with the same specialization can share the same class, and it should be the same specialization can only exist on opposite sides of the brain. Okay. Three qualities of units. Common, rare, and epic. There are lots of common, fewer rare, and only one each of the epics. Okay. Get a random common unit. Okay. So okay. So there's going to be three kinds of left brain and right brain. All right, three kinds of left brain and right brain. Let's see. Okay. So you have these units. All right, so the progression, I want there to be like, I don't know, 6. How about 5 classes? Six classes, 4 specializations. That would lead to 24 characters. Four are epic. 8 are rare. That would be, and 12 are common. Nope, we're going 14 and 6. That's sort of unbalanced in the sense that you have some epics. How am I going to enforce that? I think I actually... The specializations show up on either side. So it's this part about the, like, you should only be able to achieve 3 pairs that I'm having trouble with. Basically what I'm saying is, if there are, you know, one class... Okay, let's just do this. Oh, you can't see that. That's awesome. Alright, if there's one class and one specialization, then you have, you know, class 1 and, you know, 1A. Then you have 2 class and 1 specialization. In my setup, I need it to be that there are no more than 3 units Okay. Class and specialization. I'm not sure how to do this. I've never done this before. But basically, I'm like, I don't want it to be possible to get more than, like, there should never be. Oh, I get it. So you do. Alright, if you have 4, okay. You can control 4. You have classes and specializations. Here's how it works. You have classes and specializations that gives you 24 total characters. And that would be like, yeah, 1A. Let's just go with 4 and 4 because it'll make it easy for a moment, and we'll come back to this. So you have 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. And then you have 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. Now, if you want to make it so that you can never, with any combination of 4, you just get rid of 1A. You get rid of 2B. You get rid of 3C. And you get rid of 4D. Right? So now what you have is... Actually, this is probably the way to go about it. You want common units. Rare units. And epic units. Alright, so... Alright. Each of these should show up no more than 2 times. B, B, B. O. So now what we can do is we can say 1 Yeah, that doesn't work, does it? Specializations have to show up on opposite sides. Okay. Let's bring these back. So we're going to say that 1 and 2 belong to the left brain. 3 and 4 belong to the right brain. So on the left side, I mean, the other option is we just have 16. I just don't like this because you could do like, yeah, 1, 1 is a pair. Oh, I see. Because we can only have it like this, okay, then I think this still works. Okay. So, left only. right only. Okay. On the left, you can absolutely have two units that share a specialization, but don't share a class. And on the right, so let's say you did 1B and 1C, so they share a class. Then you could choose four B and 4C. That's not good. Okay. So that's not good. Okay. So I got to get rid of... I want to be able to have two of the same class, that's obvious. But I got to get rid of half. Okay. So... And then I got to get rid of this. Nah, let's just do 4 and 4, and if you can max it out, then great, right? Okay. Like, yeah. So, all right, 16. So one of each of them is going to be really difficult to get. Okay, yeah, let's just do that. Okay. So 1A, Epic. 1B, rare, common, common. 2B, epic. 2A, rare. 2C, nope. Yeah. Common, common. Common, common, rare, epic, rare, common, common, epic, rare. That handles the job, but do I want them on opposite sides? That's the question. Right, because this makes it so that you can get Alright, specializations are supposed to be more powerful. Specializations are supposed to be more powerful. Let's do 5 classes. No, it's got to be 6 because there's got to be an even number. Okay, let's try this again. We're going to do specializations first. One A. One to 6. A to D. 1A. Okay. Five, 6, 7, 8. Oh shit. 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay. There needs to be 4 epics. A. B. Ah. Epic. And a C. Epic. Okay. Now you need rares. You need 8 rares. So A and A. Rare. So, okay. Rare and rare. B. A, B. Okay, yeah, this works. A. A. We got a lot of A's going on here. Okay, so the epics, we have one of each specialization. I think for the rares, we want it to be 2 of a class. Okay, so like all right, rare. Rare, rare. And then rare, rare. All right, D and C. common, common, common. Okay. Can I just copy this? Goodness. Okay, so now let's go to a spreadsheet. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Goodness me. Excel. Can I zoom in on this? Yeah, I can. Okay. So what we have is 24 designations. And I want to find out for every possible combination of these what the highest value is. So what we're going to do is say basically just trying to figure out if there's like one that sticks out as obviously way too powerful. I think it's impossible. Well, you could have 4 epics, but you would have no 2 specializations the same. And you would have is it possible to have okay, you can have your rare, rare, and rare, rare. Can share 2 of those, but not 3. Your okay, so you can have epic, rare, rare, rare. All right, there's well, I guess there is a point. You could have all right, epic, epic, rare, rare. Okay. But even if you had that, you would leave open the other. Okay. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. I think this is the way we want to go. So now let's put some actual like names to them and abilities. So classes. Okay. Classes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. And then specializations. A, B, C, D. All right, the classes are going to be like all right, start thinking of abilities. Okay? So, ninja, backstab, right? These have to have back in them because that's it. Okay? Let's go dancer. Maybe classes is the wrong name. Let's just think of like names with back. We can have back flip, back stab. How about assassin? Assassin. Back flip. Okay. What is it called? Verbs with back. I apparently can't click on that one. All these sites are just stealing content from each other. Ooh. Comeback jester. Payback. Oh. Playback. Epic. Rewind time. That's a good one. Write back. Email back. Message back. Talk back. Come back. Okay. Maybe having... What do you need? 6? 10? We've already got 5. Playback is an ability. Oh. Okay. Shit, we need individual abilities for 24 different things. And then we also need class bonuses and specialization bonuses. Okay. All right, so we need 24, right? 4, 8, 12, 24. Okay. What sort of... All right, what are your specializations? Are assassins? Tinkerer? Defensive? Creative? Hey, what's up? Got school starting on the 26th. Just have to buy the train tickets and parking pass and do what you said about going to class each and every day. Awesome. Almost there. What kind of classes are you taking this semester? Are you already signed up and everything? Creative. And what else? Creative? Yeah, program design 2, engineering, orientation, calc 3, mathematics foundations, and computing, and theater 103 online. That's cool. That sounds like a lot of work. It's good for you, though. All right. I never understand why people ditch class like you are paying to be there. Well, that's sort of true and sort of not true. A lot of people aren't paying to be there. Their parents pay for them, or they get a scholarship, or whatever else. And they don't really care. Uh, so it just is what it is. There's also people that just like run into a wall, and it's not always like ditching class because they don't want to be there. Sometimes they have other obligations, be it work or whatever else it might be. It's not like the end of the world, but it's like you should try absolutely your hardest to make it to the classes each time. But if you can't make it one time, it's not the end of the world. If you can't make it two times, you probably need to change something. Man, it's hard to build a world. Like, that's my short answer here. I don't know how to do this. I'm just like, I feel good about this. This feels like some progress to me, and like this idea is good. The interaction of like clicking and how you actually buy, if you know, get your new stuff sounds cool. But it's also one of these things where it's like, sort of difficult. All right, yeah, missing a couple because the train getting delayed. Weather or something major comes up is fine, but if you're just in your room, then you should go to class. Absolutely. One of the few lucky people at my college as well. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either, man. Like, if you're able to go to school and don't have to pay for it, like that is giving you a very large step up in life in terms of not being in debt when you get out, which I think is great. All right. I guess it would be easier to figure out what sorts of classes and specializations I want to have if there were concepts of how they like attacked with each other, right? Like what their goals were. Okay, let's just say like offensive uh melee, offensive um magic, defensive melee, tinkerer, defensive magic. Okay. Well, that gives us an idea about how to do that for the specializations. And then for the classes, I want, I don't know. Okay, for the classes, you have left brain and right brain. There are 3 traits each. Okay. Left brain trait 1, improve. Left brain trait 2, improve. Left brain trait 3, improve. Right brain. Okay. All right, for the spring, when I take data structure, the prof who is teaching is like the best prof ever. If you get the chance, look up Joe Hummel. I will do that. 2 and 3. Okay, so I don't know what they're going to be, but I know that this is what they're going to do. Okay. I think these are the only 4 things where I want it to have something to do with back. So these should have something to do with back. These should exude the theme. Okay. planning. All right, so we had some specialization. So traits. What were the traits that we had? Planning, problem solving, intuition, understanding. All right, I think we're actually kind of making progress here. What got you into the computer science field? Um, I just, I just sort of, I just sort of liked it, I guess. We got a computer when I was pretty young, and I started using it to solve math homework at some point, and it was kind of cool that like if you could come up with the code to like solve this math equation, then all you had to do was put in the what you columns. All you had to do was put in the like inputs, and all of a sudden it would just tell you what the answer was. And I thought that was like super super cool. So that was one thing, and then after that, I just kind of got into like building things. We didn't have we didn't have a bunch of like materials outside to build stuff with. We didn't have like wood or like we weren't building tree houses or you know skate ramps or anything like that. And so it was like this was my way of building something, and I just got super super into it. And nothing's changed about that. That's still a very large part of why I like it. Also, next month the NFL is back. Oh, I love the NFL, man. I'm a Falcons fan. As hard as it is to admit that openly, only because of what happened in the Super Bowl. But yeah, no, I love the NFL, man. Sundays, like I'm a red zone watcher. That's what I do on Sunday. Yeah, I really love the problem solving and theories. Never know about computer science till academic advisor told me about it. That's cool. Yeah, NFL. I might actually watch some NFL like on stream. Like that's how much I love it. Like, you know, if I can get to the point of like getting some real-time data from the games and like start running some analyses like in the middle of the games, that would make a really fun stream. And I just absolutely love the NFL. Like I don't even know what it was. Fantasy is what really got me into it. And then ever since then, like once I started to understand how to play the game, holy cow, like it is so intense. 11 players on either side. There is so much strategy. There is so much like raw talent. There is so much skill, so much teamwork. Whereas like most other games, it's like in baseball, if you're good at hitting, like you just win. Your team just wins more because you're good at hitting. And you only need like two people who are good at hitting to like shift the tide of a game. Like defense is pretty much mechanical in that game. In basketball, again, one superstar, like you're just going to win a bunch of games. You might not win a championship, but you're going to the playoffs every year if you have like one superstar. And it's like the NFL, man, you need a whole team full of really good people on both sides of the ball. Yeah, I really love the problem solving. Same, I look over notes and homework while watching Red Zone. That seems like a good side project. I was really mad at Cody Parkey missed the field goal. Yeah, yeah. It was a yeah, yeah. The best team would be the Saints offense and the Bears defense. I don't know. I think the best team is just the Rams, period, on both sides of the ball, especially this year. Like Todd Gurley, who's the wide receiver Cook, Brandon Cooks, and I wasn't a huge fan of the quarterback. I cannot put my finger on his name at the moment, but like he's good. Like he does what he needs to do. And then the defense, man, they gotta have them or the Bears have to have the number one defense. And it's like I'm having trouble seeing anybody getting past the Rams this year. It's just unbelievable. And the coach, wow, he's just crazy. Best memory I've ever seen on a person. The defense was good in the Super Bowl, but the offense stalled. Yeah, a lot of that I feel like had to do with like injuries leading up to it and how new, like how young that team was. Like the football knowledge on that team was quite low. like really, really low. They lost him. Even Gurley only played like 20 snaps and touched the ball like 6 times or something like that. Like he didn't play a whole lot. And it's like you take those two things away, and there's a whole lot less options to deal with from on the decent defense side. And then of course you can't take anything away from the Pats defense because Bill Belichick has to be the best defensive mind in all of football. All right, I am clearly not working on this anymore. I really feel like I want to get to the point of having some of this done. So I'm just going to come up with names. Strategy traits. We have planning. We have problem solving. What sorts of things would you think of when you think of... All right, these should exude the theme. No, wait, these should not exude the theme. The epics should. Or maybe these should. Tinker. Oh, okay. Defensive melee is knockback. Backstab. Offensive magic. Defensive magic. Be like playback. I don't know. The Browns look good this year. They do look good, but I don't know about their defense. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like God, what is the quarterback's name? I just can't put my name on like people's names. His name is it doesn't matter. I feel like Mayfield. There you go. Thank you. I do feel like Mayfield like overall does a really good job of like putting in the minds of the people on his team like what they're there for, and it's winning. And like I feel like from an offensive side of the ball, man, they are looking so good. Like really, really good. It could be a lot like the Rams from last year. Well, no, who would be a team that had really good? It could be like the Falcons from last year, right? The Falcons, good offense, but their defense just won't keep up to win them games. Like they have like two good players on defense, but it's just not enough, and their cornerbacks are awful. So it's like, yeah, I do see them scoring a lot of points, but I don't see them like going deep into the playoffs. It would be cool if they won a game, but I just don't see it. Yeah, well, the defense was bad. It got decimated in literally week 1 of the regular season, where they lost their, I mean, they lost $80 million worth of defensive players. So I guess not $80 million in 1 year, but $80 million in contracts. Yeah, that was a rough year. I still feel like overall they did pretty good though. I'm just not upset about it. Like you're gonna have bad years. It's football. People get hurt. If it's your year, it's your year. Okay. I feel like one more thing. So offensive magic, something that has to do with back. Offensive magic. What are other words for back? Drop backs. Back out. Back up. Back off. Back onto. Back out. Back up. No, it's not what I want. Back down, back off, back out, back out, back out, back up. Man, this is not what I want. I want like an ability or a thing. What is your least favorite team in the NFL besides the Patriots or division rivals? The Seahawks, but that's a personal thing. My best friend, one day, which just happened to be the day they won the Super Bowl, decided that he had been a Seahawks fan for years before this and was just now willing to admit it because they won the Super Bowl. So, yeah. So I don't like the Seahawks. It's got nothing to do with the Seahawks themselves. It's got to do with my friend. Always been a Bears fan. Yeah. See, that's what I feel like. You got to go through the struggle, man. If you can't hold on through the struggle, like, you just bail on anything. Of course, it's football and it's a sport, it's entertainment. So, like, go like who you like. I'm willing to bet on any game, that sort of a thing. But at the end of the day, like, I just feel like you gotta choose a team, and a sports team is like a really easy team to choose. You just choose one and then you just ride it out. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to care if they win. All right, I'm gonna save this. Bloop. Where am I gonna save this? Culture of development. And we're going to call this JS13K. We're going to call this new folder JS13 back. JS13K back. Okay. Design notes. I probably just saved a file without an extension. Code, culture of development. And I did. Control Shift S. Design notes. Dot. I guess we'll just make it a markdown file. Okay. All right. That is going to be it for today. It's 2 o'clock. I need to get back to work to finish something up. I do appreciate everybody stopping by today. I actually had a lot of fun checking out and talking about the NFL. If you want to talk about that during the season, I will be more than happy to. And I do have to go ahead and get running. Let me read through what you said here real fast. It's funny when you go through Rate My Professor and people complain about their grades and say if you ditch the class, it is harder. A upperclassman told me to go to class and don't cheat, which seems to be a huge problem now in college as well. He told me those nightmares you hear are just really bad students. I mean, largely, yes, but sometimes material is just hard. So there's that. All right. Anyway, I got to get going. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I will be back tomorrow. We will continue this. I will have some time to have slept on it, and I will talk more tomorrow instead of just having these thoughts going through in my head for a very large part of the stream. Yep, we'll be back at noon tomorrow. We'll be back at noon on Friday. By the end of the week, I want to have a really solid plan as to which direction we want to go, so we can actually get some code down and start worrying about the mechanics of this game. And that's it. I will see everybody later. Thanks.